Chapter 91. What can I say? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Fellow immortal, you are a guest in the Earth Demon Plains. We welcome you. These magic weapons belong to our leader, please take it and leave us alone. Those demons ran away in fear of Lin Fan, they didn't expect their strongest leader would end up like that. Boom. Lin Fan used the boxing technique. He threw several punches to knock down those three demons to the ground. Fellow immortal, please spare us. The demon was lying on the ground miserably like a weak woman who was about to be *D. They realized that a young man in front of them was dangerous. I'm afraid I can't let you go, I have to become stronger after all. Lin Fan touched his bald head, and the green-toed sword in his hand radiated bright light. Become stronger. Those three earth demons looked at each other awkwardly and could not understand. How are you becoming stronger and killing us related? Is it that difficult to let us go? But what greeted them was that lightning and merciless sword. Thump. 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 Lin Fan enjoyed the sound of his sword when it slashed through those three demons' neck, and he was suddenly very happy. Maybe that was how happiness felt. This kind of happiness was hard for ordinary people to understand. Lin Fan stood there while looking at the corpses of those four earth demons around him and suddenly waited in anticipation. Become stronger, that was the only thing in Lin Fan's mind. It's coming. Obtained Spirit Root. Golden Spirit Root, obtained 80 Chi, obtained Sword Technique. Breaking Sound Magic Sword, small supernatural power, obtained Spirit Root. Wood Spirit Root Fragment, obtained Talent. The Sense of Life, obtained 25 Chi. Lin Fan's hard work paid off, he got a bunch of good items, and he was really excited. He didn't expect that God will really give him a jackpot. Although it was not that good, he really needed that cultivation in Chi. The Earth Demon dropped two kinds of Spirit Root, and they were both complete Spirit Root, not just a fragment. That was Lin Fan's first time to obtain a complete Spirit Root. He guessed the complete Spirit Root should have nothing to do with cultivation, and at the same time, it had nothing to do with one's Spirit Root. Perhaps it was just pure luck. Breaking Sound Magic Sword, small spiritual power. A sword technique that consumes a huge amount of magical spiritual power, the highest level could produce the fastest swordsmanship, even faster than the sound itself. The Sense of Life, bronze. Earth monster has supernatural talents, grant an extremely sensitive sense of smell. But all items that were dropped were useful items that he really needed at the moment. Especially the items dropped by the strongest earth demon. But the only thing that made Lin Fan quite uncomfortable was the system. He knew that there was something in that demon's body. He found the pure sun pill from the earth demon's body, and the damaged vest armor of the demon, but it was indeed damaged enough, so it was useless, but that vest armor's material was a good thing. Nonetheless, it was useless, so Lin Fan threw it away. Hey, that is a pure sun pill. Lin Fan was speechless, he didn't know what to say. Pure sun pill. Refined using golden crown grass, taihualu and other dozens of precious spirit herbs, which can grant pure yang qi, which has the effect of destroying evil and destroying demons, and could also give 5 qi. It's a good thing. But why didn't that demon use it himself? Could it be that the element of the earth demon was not compatible with that? Lin Fan swallowed the pill, which was like crunching sugar, so crunchy, suddenly a heat flow filled his mouth and then slid down the throat. Great! His qi increased by 5. He have 160 qi. 4 elements of immortals. The first of those was Dharma, the method of cultivation, which focused on the immortal technique. It will take forever to obtain 160 qi without the aid of the pill. Wealth was not only a property but also useful to strengthen the spirit root. If one didn't have the wealth to buy some medicine or pills, one better gave up and grew sweet potatoes at home. Lin Fan continued to search for the earth demon. The result made him feel and excited again. Quickly. When Lin Fan left, that place became very quiet. Only 4 earth demon corpses lay there silently. The blood that has not yet solidified proved that an extremely cruel battle has just happened there. Inside the cave, Lin Fan searched around, but he didn't find any traces of earth demon. Lin Fan was sitting there. He wanted to do something based on the formulas in The Green Mysterious Magic. He got a complete spirit root, although it was only 1 grade. With that Lin Fan was eligible to become immortal. That was a good start. It's a useless system. It can't do everything at once. I still need to practice by myself. Lin Fan was quite upset, but what else could he say? All he could do was work on it slowly. Chapter 92. Greatest Martial Immortal Gate. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Taiwu Sect, Sky Peak. Even though the scenery there was so beautiful, the spiritual power there was very dense, but for Fang Jiuzhen, it was a kind of like torture. It has been a while since he came to the Taiwu Sect. He never had the opportunity to see Yizhentian. He didn't believe it before coming there. Brother Jiuzhen, listen to my advice and forget about it. Yizhentian found a spiritual vein and urgently needed manpower. You won't be able to change anything by coming here. Tong Sheng and Fang Jiuzhen were old-fashioned, and they became friends ever since they were young. Tong Sheng was just an ordinary elder in Taiwu's sect as of the moment, and he couldn't keep up with some true disciples because he fell short in terms of strength. And Yizhentian was one of the true disciples. He also couldn't do anything about it. He didn't know what to do. Brother Tong, you know I've had my hands full to support Jiutian sect now. If you're going to force my disciple to mine the spirit stone, my Jiutian sect will be ruined. They are all just mortals. Fang Jiuzhen understood that if he allowed his disciples to mine spirit stone, they would die from the exhaustion. As the master who recruited them, he wouldn't let them be sacrificed at some random place. Tong Xing said, Brother Jiuzhen, listen to me. Forget it. You are a cultivator. They are just mortals. You can still find more of them in the future. There is no need to save them. I want to help you, but you know how things work. I would have helped if I can, but I can't do anything about the true disciples. At that time, Tong Xing just had a talk with his brother about other true disciples who wanted to use magic weapons as a resource to be exchanged for the spirit stone. Of course, Yizhentian wouldn't just give the spirit stone for free. Everyone knew how important spirit stone was. Becoming immortal without it was basically impossible. Even people at Golden Immortal Realm only had a lifespan of 200 years at most. Cultivating to become immortal without sufficient resources was just reckless since normal humans' lifespan was not enough to support that. Becoming immortal took time. The more magical power, the more time was needed. That was where the spirit stone was crucial. Moreover, the spirit vein that Yizhentian discovered may be at 3rd grade or higher. The higher the grade, the purer the spiritual power contained in the spirit stone. If the spirit stone contained impurities, it had to be cleansed, and it will take some time. Absorbing 3rd grade spirit stone or above could easily boost one's cultivation. Years of hard work are meaningless compared to absorbing one spirit stone. Why are you still here? Don't make me repeat myself. Tong Xing saw Fang Jiuzhen was still standing there. It was quite troublesome. Fang Jiuzhen approached him and begged, please help me, let me see Yizhentian. When he was in his sect, in order to set a good example in front of his disciples, he tried his best not to embarrass himself in front of his disciples. But his disciples were not there this time, so there was no need to keep up appearances. In order to keep the disciples off from mining, he didn't care if he had to lay down his pride. That's an interesting thing you said right there. My brother is a true disciple of Taiwu's sect. You can't see him just because you want to. As Elder Tong has just said, you should give up. Why are you so persistent? Feng Sihai, who overheard their conversation, was very unhappy with Fang Jiuzhen's behavior. Feng Sihai was upset seeing Fang Jiuzhen acted like that. Feng Sihai has seen Tong Sheng for many times, he naturally knew that Tong Sheng was an elder. So he was trying to be polite and said, "Elder Tong, you can't blame me. You have lived in Taiwu's sect for so long. Every time immortal appraisal time comes, your friend has been going there, taking some people back. Taiwu's sect has given him enough leeway, he should have at least lent us a hand with mining the spirit stone for free. I can report you to sect master if you insisted." He was trying to be polite just because Feng Sihai was an elder. But that didn't mean he was afraid of him. Tong Sheng's expression changed, and he said angrily, "What do you mean by that? Oh, Elder Tong, you know that you are just outer elder. This is a matter between the true disciples. You have no right to intervene in this, even if you ask the disciplinary elder to help you, the one who violates the rules here is you." Feng Sihai was quite impatient. The outer elder was the person responsible for the affairs of the disciples. Their cultivation base was not particularly high, they weren't particularly talented, and their spirit root was not that good, but since they have spent a lot of time in the sect, they were assigned as an outer elder with certain privileges. The true disciples were more respected than outer elders. "You." Tong Sheng pointed at Feng Sihai, and his face turned red, but he couldn't say anything back because Feng Sihai was right. He didn't hold that much authority, but he was angry when his old friend was ridiculed like that. At that time, a disciple came from afar and said indifferently, "Brother Feng, Brother Yi said to let him in." Feng Sihai nodded and glanced at Feng Jiuzhen, "My brother let you go in, but you better keep your heads down. It's an honor for your sect to do things for my brother, but you don't know your place." Tong Sheng worried that Feng Jiuzhen would be in trouble and said, "I will go with you." But the disciple stopped. "Elder Tong," Brother Yi said, "please behave yourself, brother will go to the disciplinary elder to sue you, go back and wait for the punishment." Tong Sheng said angrily, "Yi Zhentian dares to do that. Please turn back." The disciple's gesture indicated that he couldn't come along. Feng Jiuzhen pulled Tong Sheng, shook his head, and said, "I'll go alone. I'm the one who has caused you trouble. Be careful. I can only help this much, rest assured, he won't do anything." Tong Sheng said. Feng Jiuzhen nodded and then followed the disciple toward Yi Zhentian. Chapter 93. How do they preserve? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Tong Sheng looked toward Sky Peak and shook his head helplessly. He couldn't accompany his friend there. He didn't know what will happen to Feng Jiuzhen. Tong Sheng thought he shouldn't come along. Every true disciple was a prideful individual. Feng Jiuzhen's refusal was to prevent Yi Zhentian from embarrassing Tong Sheng. "I should go find someone to help you." Tong Sheng pondered, thinking about his colleague one after another, but no one could help him at that time. Earth Demon Plains. Lin Fan was practicing, and the blood in his body was boiling. There was a problem with the cycle of his cultivation. All cultivators, in general, had to achieve the 5 realms first, but since he got spirit root, he instantly reached foundation immortal. As the result, he had to attain the 5 realms later. With the help of the system, Lin Fan could break the norm in that world. At that time, Lin Fan's body was boiling, he burned all the impurities in his body into the mist. Hiya. Yep, as expected of yours truly. He could feel the changes in his body as if he had undergone a major transformation. That was the change brought by the system. Even if one reached the initial realm, that didn't mean they'll be invincible, they could still suffer various illnesses, but after attaining the first realm, they won't experience such problems, their body will be adjusted to perfection and officially enter initial realm. But it's a bit strange. I seem to be practicing longer than before. He didn't practice that long before. Maybe because of his strong qi. 100 qi was not a joke. The next step was to reshape the 3 fates. It was such a weird thing. Those who never read the immortal record wouldn't understand its content. There were 3 fates for human beings, heaven, earth, and human. The 3 fires for ordinary human was just to avoid bad luck and prevent them from committing sins, and once they became immortals, they must reshape their fate into a mortal fate. The 3 fates recorded in Immortal Record consisted of various elements in general. And so on, he continued the next steps. 3 days later. Get the job done. Lin Fan opened his eyes, the fog in his eyes disappeared, he became more divine, calmer, he got all the 5 realms and took a deep breath, he could feel the circulation of the spiritual energy condensed between the heavens and the earth around him. Cultivation really is exhausting. He was really tired, he just sat there for 3 days without moving, he couldn't even if he wanted to anyway. He suddenly thought how difficult it was to cultivate for hundreds of years like a normal cultivator. Although his chi did not increase, he felt that he had become stronger. Lin Fan sensed some movement outside. He caught the smell of some creatures approaching, human beings and earth demons. Immediately. Arg. Help, big brother and sister, please help me out, I'm going to die. Outside. A man was fleeing from countless earth demons. There were too many earth demons, with each step they took, the whole ground shook violently. For Wang Zheng, it was like hell. He came to the earth demon plains only to find the quiet spring grass that grew there. But right when he picked one, he found that the earth was shaking. He thought it was an earthquake. But when he looked closer, he realized that was because of earth demons. At that time, Lin Fan was hungry and thirsty after finishing his cultivation and was itching to kill some earth demons. But when Lin Fan saw the scene outside, he was stunned. Wang Zheng saw Lin Fan's head sticking out and found out that he was a human. Run quickly, or you will die. What happened? Where did that many demons come? Lin Fan wanted to kill all those demons, but he held back because if he used his power, he might destroy the surroundings as well. Lin Fan chose to run away first. Fellow cultivator, why are you here? Wang Zheng caught up with Lin Fan, although he looked panicked, but when he saw someone in the same boat with him, he became much calmer somehow. Who are you? Lin Fan asked. Wang Zheng gasped and said, my friend, how can you be so rude? I ask you, what are you doing with a group of earth demons? And you run away straight to this place, do you have a grudge against me? Lin Fan glanced. Wang Zheng said, you misunderstood my friend, I have never met you, how could I have a grudge against you, I am innocent, I'm just picking a spirit grass, and suddenly those earth demons went after me, I happened to pass by you during my escape. But it's okay. We can survive. He was trying to convince both himself and Lin Fan, although he himself had no solution to their current predicament. Lin Fan really wanted to kill Wang Zheng. The trouble he caused dragged others down. Chapter 94. No longer tolerate. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Note. Jyotian Sect 9 Heaven's Immortal Gate. Note 2. Taiwu Sect Greatest Martial Immortal Gate. At that time, Wang Zheng saw a river, with a width of about 10 feet in front of him, and he immediately shouted with joy, my friend, there is a river in front of us. We can jump in and escape from the earth demons. What kind of river is this? Why is the water black? Are you insane? Don't jump in. This river is dangerous. Lin Fan said. He didn't know what else to say. When Lin Fan first came to that unfamiliar place, he simply wanted to grow stronger steadily and improve his cultivation. How could encountering that kind of disaster cross his mind? Let's just jump already. Wang Zheng shouted and jumped. Lin Fan couldn't help but jump down too. He felt cold, and as soon as he entered the river, he immediately used his chi to protect him. The earth demons saw those two jumped into the river and stopped chasing them. When Lin Fan saw those earth demons went the other way, he felt relieved and came out of the river. He dried his clothes using his chi. So close. Wang Zheng climbed ashore, used the magic art to dry his wet clothes instantly. I'm so sorry, I dragged you into this. I don't know where those earth demons came from. Maybe something happened to the earth demons' planes, causing earth demons to become restless. Let's go somewhere safer. Wang Jing didn't want to stay in the earth demons' planes. He thought it would be problematic if he stayed there for any longer. Lin Fan looked back at Wang Jing without saying anything. Wang Jing was very embarrassed, and then changed the topic and said, I don't know your name yet, I'm Wang Jing, the disciple of greatest martial immortal Gate. Lin Fan didn't expect that man was a disciple of greatest martial immortal Gate. He has lost any kind of sympathy toward greatest martial immortal Gate for the moment. Since he seemed polite and since Lin Fan couldn't bring himself to stay mad. Do you know Feng Sihai? Lin Fan asked. He has been thinking about finding a chance to kill that guy, but he was not strong enough. Feng Sihai. Wang Jing was stunned, and then he said, I don't know, but I know Yi Zhentian. Did you have something against him? No, it's not like that, I'm just asking, that's all. Lin Fan said with a smile. Lin Fan began to be cautious in front of him. I wasn't affiliated with any sect. My name is Lin Fan, I see you have a lot of potentials, just be sure to pick your friends. I'll take my leave. Lin Fan didn't want to stay any longer with Wang Jing, because Lin Fan thought that man was a walking misfortune. Wang Jing still had something to say, but Lin Fan was already gone. Do I? After he said that to himself, he wanted to go back as fast as he could. After a few days. 9 Heavens Immortal Gate. When Lin Fan returned to the mountain gate, the disciples guarding the mountain gate saw Lin Fan and couldn't help but shock. You come back, we all thought you died outside. They were shocked to see Lin Fan came back. I have something to do around here. I didn't go that far, that's for sure. Lin Fan said. He couldn't tell them that he went to Earth Demon's plains alone. If he said it, he would scare them to death. Have our master returned? Lin Fan asked. No. The disciples who guarded the mountain gate were also curious about what took their master so long. Lin Fan had a bad feeling because his master went to greatest martial immortal gate of all places. Suddenly, Lin Fan heard something from the gate. Master is back. Lin Fan looked back. The disciples who guarded the mountain gate looked at that person in fear. Their eyes kept looking at the person carrying their master in his hand. Feng Sihai tossed Fang Jiuzhen from his hand to the disciples. Take care of him, and if he is lucky, Brother Yi will forgive him. Feng Sihai's eyes were extremely fierce, and when every student's eyes met his eyes, they bowed their heads in fear. Creak. Lin Fan clenched his fingers, he was very angry at that time. Both him and Fang Jiuzhen did not have a good impression of Feng Sihai, because Feng Sihai was so arrogant, he simply could not stand it. But because none of them aside from Lin Fan had spirit root, they couldn't do anything about it. Let's go. Feng Sihai said to those 2 disciples who accompanied him arrogantly. Hurry up, treat our master's wounds. Lin Fan said. Soon, a group of disciples carried their master in. When no one was paying attention, Lin Fan quietly disappeared and followed Feng Sihai. He could no longer tolerate that guy's behavior. Chapter 95. I'm about to die. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 95. I'm about to die, Brother Feng, that old bastard is really interesting, but Brother Yi has a bad temper. He easily humiliated Fang Jiuzhen, and he immediately broke and agreed to Brother Ye's request. You just have to find more disciple to mine the spirit stone if we don't have enough. A disciple who followed Feng Sihai smiled and then thought of the insufficient number of people. Feng Sihai smiled, it's okay, you can go to that sect to play sometimes. Those 2 disciples nodded at the same time. The old man is not to be underestimated. If we let our guard down, we might be in trouble. It's okay, greatest martial sect is backing you up. He can't make a move. Feng Sihai took lightly of 9 Heavens sect. The old man was already humiliated in front of Brother Yi, and he did suffer greatly. Those two disciples grinned. Lin Fan has been following them while thinking about how to kill Feng Sihai. Lin Fan thought Feng Sihai was already too full of himself, so he didn't care about what will happen if he killed Feng Sihai. At that time, the situation has changed. Feng Sihai told those two disciples to go back first without him. Lin Fan peeked quietly and found that those two disciples were separated from Feng Sihai. Lin Fan was overjoyed. Without those guys, things will be much easier. After watching those two left, Feng Sihai showed a faint smile on his face, and he acted in secret. There were many small schools near greatest martial sect. And when he thought of the girls in that small school, his libido suddenly rose. He could have his way with those girls after kidnapping them on their way to school, and kill those girls after that, and hid their corpses. No one will know his deed. Lin Fan was carefully watching him from afar. Feng Sihai. Foundation Immortal Possible Item Drop. Earth Spirit Root Fragment, Gold Spirit Root Fragment, 180 Chi, Sevenfold Cloud Swords Technique, Tai Wu Physic Technique, Indestructible Body Technique, Destiny Pill, Storage Bag, Detoxification, Fire Avoidance, Dark Iron Sword. Lin Fan was after his Chi. Others were also good, but those were not really worth mentioning. Feng Sihai was happy and excited, he didn't know that he will be bathed in blood. Suddenly. Who are you? Feng Sihai frowned when he saw someone in front of him blocking his way. Lin Fan touched his bald head and smiled, nobles really don't think much of us commoners. Even though you just saw me some time ago. You forgot so quickly. Feng Sihai was shocked, and then he said, "Oh, I remember, you are the disciple of Nine Heavens sect, your bald head is outrageous. What are you here for? Could it be that you want to avenge your master?" Feng Sihai didn't expect it. A mere mortal was blocking his path and looked at him with killing intent. Feng Sihai found Lin Fan's weapon was very interesting. "Boy, the sword in your hand is a magic weapon. Give me that magic weapon, and I will let you live. If you refuse, I will kill you and take away the magic weapon myself." Noel Dutton, Feng Sihai said greedily. "Hee, you seem to be so confident in killing me. Let's get straight to the point." Without any warning, Lin Fan attacked Feng Sihai. Lin Fan couldn't hold his hatred any longer than that, and his hatred will disappear once Feng Sihai dead. Feng Sihai took out the long sword from his storage bag and blocked Lin Fan's attack. Oh! Suddenly, an incredible scene happened. Feng Sihai found that the situation was different from what he expected. "You brat! You have Qi, didn't you?" Feng Jiuzhen was only allowed to recruit disciples without root. How dare he snatch the people with root from greatest martial sect? He will be dead for sure. Feng Sihai was shocked. Lin Fan's Qi was strong. He countered Lin Fan with greatest martial sect's technique. That was unexpected, pretending to be weakling, and trying to attack me when I let my guard down. Look at the sword you're using. What's with that worn-out sword? Let's see what you can do with that. Feng Sihai laughed but suddenly became cautious when Lin Fan's sword emitted blue light. In an instant, Feng Sihai swung his sword that was imbued with Qi. That sword was originally 7 swords that were merged into one. It emitted such a powerful aura. Boy, be amazed, this is the real immortal's technique, and yours are just scum. Just die already. Chapter 96. My face is cold. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Feng Sihai used the sevenfold cloud sword technique, which was the highest level in greatest martial sect sword technique. One sword which held the power of 7 swords. That was considered a great technique in the greatest martial sect. Breaking magic sword art. The magic sword had very good supernatural power. With his current strength, it was more terrifying than average magic art. But Lin Fan suddenly disappeared from his sight. Oh! Feng Sihai was shocked and Lin Fan suddenly disappeared. Suddenly, he saw a turquoise light. That was a body. Protecting immortal technique. By utilizing the power of the earth, the user formed defensive chi that was indestructible to protect themselves. Feng Sihai was no longer underestimating Lin Fan. Lin Fan's ability has exceeded his expectations. When that idea came up in his mind, he immediately shook his head. He was shocked in disbelief. How was that possible? He was a disciple of greatest martial sect. He was just comforting himself, imagining that the name of greatest martial sect could scare Lin Fan. Suddenly, as he imagined those things, a figure appeared in front of his eyes instantly. That figure moved so fast that he could not respond at all. A sword flashed. It was so fast that it was like distorting space itself. Of course, Feng Sihai was shocked by how something like that could happen. Feng Sihai could not move at all as the sword slashed his body. What? My leg. My hand. Feng Sihai looked at the scene in disbelief. His body protection chi was like a paper before green toad sword. His body protection chi shattered instantly, and his limbs were also cut off by Lin Fan. Feng Sihai turned into a crippled without limbs. I just wanted to kill you, but when I think about it again, letting you die is too generous. Lin Fan swung the green toad sword to get rid of the blood on the sword, and then casually laughed at Feng Sihai. What do you think? Just now, my puny spiritual power is not bad, right? It is much stronger than that lousy sword technique you used. Puny magical power. Which part of it is puny? Feng Sihai screamed, looking at Lin Fan's eyes with hatred. I like that expression of yours, and I want to see that helpless expression more and more. Lin Fan chuckled and said that. Feng Sihai couldn't do anything when he heard Lin Fan said that. Lin Fan squatted down and patted Feng Sihai's face. He said, you guys can pretend to be a hotshot, I can't help but kill you. Now, where's that high and mighty attitude of yours? I want to see it again. Feng Sihai endured humiliation. He really underestimated Lin Fan. I am a disciple of greatest martial sect, not to mention that I'm one of Yi Zhentian's colleagues. If I die, Nine Heavens sect will definitely get into trouble. It would be better if you let me go. I swear to heaven that I will never mention anything that happened between us, said Feng Sihai. Lin Fan was amused by his words. You really treat me like a fool. If I let you go, I won't be able to go back. You'll kill me anyway the second I turn my back. Feng Sihai shook his head. No, I am the most trustworthy person at greatest martial sect. Feng Sihai wanted to persuade Lin Fan with his words. Are you? Lin Fan touched his chin. He didn't believe it. Feng Sihai immediately said, I swear, it was all an act. I just pretended to be a jerk in front of you guys, so you guys will be motivated, become stronger. Misunderstandings commonly happen, but as long as we are open-minded, we'll learn something new. If you don't believe me, you can take me back to see it yourself. Feng Sihai was desperate to survive. Suddenly, Lin Fan couldn't bear to slap Feng Sihai, and he fell on the ground. How much longer are you gonna take me for a fool? Forget it. I have nothing to say to you. Goodbye. Feng Sihai felt Lin Fan's killing intent and roared angrily, you can't kill me. Yi Zhentian is my brother. If he knew that you killed me, he would definitely avenge me. Everyone at Nine Heavens sect will suffer because of you. He was rotten to the core. Yi Zhentian. Don't worry. You'll soon reunite with your brother. More importantly, he didn't know that I'm the one who killed you. Lin Fan swung the green toad sword in his hand and directly cut through Feng Sihai's body. Feng Sihai's eyes were covered with red blood stripes, his mouth was open like he was trying to say something, but before he could say it, Lin Fan killed him. Maybe he wanted to say Lin Fan couldn't kill his brother. Lin Fan quickly searched the corpse while waiting for the item. Drop. He knew that Feng Sihai should have many good items on him. Chapter 97. It exploded. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. The item drop he awaited was finally announced by the system. Obtained Spirit Root. Golden Spirit Root Fragment. Obtained 180 Chi. Obtained the Immortal Technique. Greatest Martial. Introducing spiritual techniques. There were 3 kinds of drops, and he was quite lucky, especially the Chi. Soon, Lin Fan found several things from the corpse. Destiny Pill. Storage Bag. Lin Fan must bury him carefully, camouflage it with the surroundings. Lin Fan's Chi was too strong, it was reaching 340 years. It was already amazing enough that he could build up such an amount of Chi. Lin Fan found a safe place and sat there. A lotus seed emerged from Lin Fan's dantian. That was the foundation of longevity. It absorbed energy and nourished the seeds. He could find out his lifespan based on the growth of the seed. What a useful system he had. The realm in his system has changed. Realm. Destiny Immortal. When stepping into such a realm, Lin Fan thoroughly discovered that everything has changed. He realized that he saw something that he has never seen before. By the time he broke through to Destiny Realm, he saw his lifespan was about 300 years. Seemed like a lot. But when he thought about it carefully, it didn't seem that long for a mortal. However, in the future, he will be able to get an elixir that will increase his lifespan. However, those elixirs were precious elixir. Forget it. Lifespan is useless to me. I just need to kill some people, I will have a chance to get Chi, and then raise my realm. Lin Fan checked out the items. Greatest Martial Spiritual Art. Greatest Martial Immortal Technique, absorb the spiritual power of heaven and earth very fast, exclusively for a disciple of Greatest Martial Sect. Destiny Pill. Refined from hundreds of precious spirit grasses, it can increase the chance of breaking through the Destiny Immortal realm. Treasure Bag. Contains a small space for storing items. All of them were great. From all of that, Lin Fan thought Destiny Pill was the useless one because he could enter the realm by the system's help. 9 Heavens Sect. The first thing he did after Lin Fan came back, was visit his master, even though he had no attachment to his master. Lin Fan had some idea to kill the strongest disciple in Greatest Martial Sect. Pushing open the door of his master's house, he saw Qin Heng sitting on the bed and crying. He felt uncomfortable seeing his master suffered. Qin Heng heard the door being opened and found that it was Lin Fan who came in and cried, "What are you here for after all that happened? I would have fought them if you didn't warn me." "Okay, hold it right there, you said you want to fight them, but do you really think you can handle them with your strength?" Lin Fan wanted to say that to Qin Heng, but he changed his mind. "When will master wake up?" Lin Fan asked. Qin Heng shook his head, "You think I would know? But don't worry, I believe he will wake up soon." When Lin Fan heard that, he understood that his master just didn't want to wake up because of the embarrassment. "I'll take your place, just let me handle the rest," Lin Fan said. How could Qin Heng let Lin Fan took all the credit? He was waiting for Fang Jiuzhen to wake up so that he knew Qin Heng really cared about him. "You can rest assured, if master wakes up, I will tell him that you are the one who took care of him this whole time." Lin Fan saw through Qin Heng at a glance. "I want to treat his wound, you're distracting." Qin Heng wanted to refuse at first, but when he heard that Lin Fan wanted to treat the master's wound, he didn't say anything else. "Okay. But don't lie to me." "Relax, I won't lie to you," Lin Fan answered. Qin Heng blinked at Lin Fan and left. After Qin Heng left, Lin Fan patted his master's shoulders and said, "Master, no one is here. Wake up." Nothing happened. The master was lying on the bed, still didn't move an inch. "Russell." Lin Fan said, "Master, if you refuse to wake up, I will undress you and wipe your body." Lin Fan got up as a warning. Suddenly, he heard a cough. Cough, cough, cough. The master slowly opened his eyes, expressionless, as if he was stuck in time. He finally woke up. Chapter 98. Beautiful idea. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Why are you here? What just happened? Feng Zhouzhen asked calmly, and he didn't see any problem at all. As for why he woke up, it wasn't an important thing. Master, do you remember how you came back? Lin Fan asked. How could he say that he was humiliated in greatest martial sect? It pained him to lie, but could he tell the truth? That was naturally impossible. Lin Fan, after going to greatest martial sect, I met a friend. My friend was one of the higher-ups there. He helped me to negotiate with Yi Zhentian, and the matter was quickly resolved. After a few days of discussion, I was exhausted and passed out. Feng Zhouzhen really cared about his pride. He has worked so hard to support the Nine Heavens sect. How could he let it fall apart just like that? Lin Fan looked at his master and was moved. Feng Zhouzhen was shocked because when he went to greatest martial sect, he realized that the gap was huge. Master, I am also your disciple, I'm not an outsider. The one who brought you back was Feng Sihai. When he sent you back, he was very arrogant. We all know that you suffered a lot at greatest martial sect. Our disciples, no one except Qin Heng knew what happened, none of them want to leave up until now. Naturally, they have felt that they belonged in this sect, so there is no need to act tough, Master. But you can rest assured that your turning point is here. The greatest chance in your life has arrived as you recruited a disciple like me. You will be shocked in the future. Feng Zhouzhen was lying on the bed looking so serious, looking at Lin Fan as if shocked by Lin Fan's words. Boom! Feng Zhouzhen knocked on Lin Fan's bald head. He was very nervous and said, Lin Fan, are you okay? Why did you start talking nonsense in broad daylight? No, you misunderstand me. Lin Fan blinked. Master, please have a good rest. Qin Heng must be waiting outside. I will ask him to accompany you. Lin Fan wanted to know what happened, but he knew he wouldn't get the answer. I'm a bit tired. I want to rest a bit. You lead the others for today's practice. Feng Zhouzhen said. Lin Fan nodded and took his leave. Feng Zhouzhen was about to cry when Lin Fan left. Outside the house, Qin Heng was walking back and forth, and when he saw Lin Fan came out, he immediately asked, How is it? Has the master woken up? Yeah, but he is a bit tired and wants to rest. Let me tell you, don't go in. Oh, yes, master tells you to go back to practice. He said you are a talented person, and not to waste such rare talent. Lin Fan patted Qin Heng's shoulder. He looked very serious. At that time, Qin Heng's face was full of excitement. He clenched his fist, and he said to himself, I know that master has always been expecting great things from me. Master, please rest assured, I will not let you down. Qin Heng left in such a hurry. Lin Fan looked at his back and sighed helplessly. He really didn't know what Qin Heng thought. As long as someone praised him, he will believe it. After Lin Fan returned, he began to think about what will he do next. It was impossible to become strong in Nine Heavens sect. Earth Demon Plains was indeed a very good choice. But the risk was too high. It would be ideal if he could encounter one Earth Demon at a time, but normally he will encounter the demon in a group. His current realm was the Destiny Immortal, and his spirit root was Golden Spirit Root. If he went to greatest martial sect and asked to become one of the disciples, then he could slowly approach Yi Zhentian and then seize the opportunity. Well, that idea was not bad. However, there were still some problems. It was not that simple to join greatest martial sect. Their assessment has ended. Going through the back door was his only way to go in. But who will help him? If he told Feng Zhouzhen, could his friend in greatest martial sect do Lin Fan a favor and get him in, but that was impossible. He had to rely on himself. Night has come. Lin Fan was writing a letter to his master in his house. He held a pen for a long time and thought about how to write that letter. Then he got an idea. Dear Master Zhang, your disciple, Lin Fan, is very angry because of this humiliation. I will go out to get new experience and become stronger. Please wait for my return, I must find justice for Master. Your disciple Lin Fan. He put the letter on the table. He pushed the door open to see the night sky outside. It was a good time to leave. He quickly packed his stuff and ran toward the mountain gate. In the early morning, Feng Zhozhen came to Lin Fan's house and found no one. He was quite curious. Then, he saw there was a letter on the table and opened it. It didn't take too long. Lin Fan, why did you go on your own? Feng Zhozhen was hurt inside. He couldn't believe Lin Fan's words in the letter. Feng Zhozhen was afraid Lin Fan will get killed by demons because he hasn't realized yet that Lin Fan has already had spirit root. Feng Zhozhen immediately went after Lin Fan. Chapter 99. Unexpected. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Feng Zhozhen felt so helpless. He never thought that Lin Fan was only trying to join Greatest Martial Sect all along. Greatest Martial Sect, Jintian Mountain, inside the hall. Why didn't Feng Sihai come back with you? Yi Jintian's eyes were burning red, he scared them all. Brother Feng seemed to have something to do first, so he told us to go back without him. A disciple reported. Yi Jintian frowned and quite unhappy about the fact that Feng Sihai did not come back because he was in desperate need of manpower. Yi Jintian knew what Feng Sihai intended to do. If you see him, tell him to meet me immediately. Yi Jintian said. Recently, many people in the school came to him in an attempt to get a share of the spirit vein. But he was a true disciple, no one dared to steal from him. After a few days, at the foot of Greatest Martial Sect Mountain, Lin Fan looked up at the magnificent sect in front of him, and he was so shocked because of that. That was the real deal for sure. Compared with Nine Heavens sect, it was simply like heaven and earth. Countless mountain peaks stood tall, facing the sky. Those mountain peaks were like an ancient sacred realm, where countless immortals resided. Standing there alone, Lin Fan realized how small himself was. No big deal, I will shine brighter than anyone else. Lin Fan said that and then looked at the sun in the sky. Lin Fan turned around and left. It was too dangerous to stay there. He had to find opportunities because he already had an idea in his mind. Of course, he must do something with his bald head. Otherwise, it may affect the success rate of his plan. He walked into a quiet place and used his qi. Hairs suddenly grew from his bald head, and it kept growing until it touched his shoulders. Lin Fan stroked his new hair, even without looking at the mirror. He knew that he was handsome and stunning as long as he didn't say anything silly. He waited in the forest not far from Greatest Martial Sect. And that was where his patience and determination was put to the test. Several days passed. Lin Fan kept waiting. During that time, he saw many disciples of Greatest Martial Sect passing by. But those small fries were not his target. And some male disciples were jealous of Lin Fan's handsome face. Several days passed again. Lin Fan gradually became impatient, but if he gave up, it would all be for naught. At that time, a girl showed up, and the girl was not particularly beautiful. She was chubby and cute. When she pouted, she looked so cute. Even if she carried a threatening long sword on her back, nonetheless, she was perfect. She's the one. Lin Fan had a very good eye when it came to discerning people's potential and character, and at the same time, various plans popped up in his mind. Later, he was following the girl all the way, and the cute girl didn't know that she was being stalked. To ensure the 100% success rate, he had to be patient. The girl seemed to be going down the mountain for the first time, and she was very interested in the surroundings as she kept looking around. What took this girl so long? Lin Fan was getting annoyed. He planned to talk to her after saving her from a dangerous predicament. Lin Fan has been following her for half a day. And the opportunity finally came. Lin Fan found the girl seemed to be tired. She sat under the tree to rest, and a several meters long snake was slithering around the tree, and its cold eyes stared at the little girl sitting below. Suddenly, the snake struck like lightning. "Sister, be careful." Lin Fan tried to be a hero who saved the damsel in distress, but immediately afterward, the situation suddenly went beyond his expectation. He saw the girl drawing the long sword behind her, and her lightning-fast sword cut off that snake. Lin Fan was shocked on the spot, watching the cute girl turned into a cruel butcher. "Who are you?" The girl looked at Lin Fan with vigilance, while still firmly holding her sword. Lin Fan was a bit embarrassed, how he could tell that girl what his intention was. This. That. Chapter 100. Thanks to the food you are listening at novelfull.audio. Lin Fan didn't expect that girl turned out to be quite strong. "Say, who the hell are you?" That girl stared at Lin Fan vigilantly, and the girl seemed very nervous. That girl thought that Lin Fan might have bad intentions. "Girl, don't be afraid, I'm not anyone suspicious." Lin Fan was having difficulty in approaching that girl. The girl said, "That really sounds suspicious, you know." "Who are you? If you don't tell the truth, don't blame me if I have my own idea to deal with you." That girl seemed very angry. He had to think of a way, and when he looked at the snake that was already cut off, an idea instantly popped up in his mind. That girl seemed to see through Lin Fan's thoughts. "Don't even bother to say that snake is your pet. I know what that snake is, and it doesn't seem to be raised by anyone. You can't fool me." Lin Fan looked at that cute girl in front of him in amazement. The snake was just staring at her and hissing. Maybe it just wanted to be friend with her. How could she kill it so cruelly? The girl's big round eyes looked at Lin Fan proudly, as if to say, "What do you think about yours truly?" Lin Fan said, "Girl, you misunderstand me. I saw you resting under the tree, and that snake was hanging on the tree. I just approached you because I'm worried, that's all. I won't even break a sweat fighting with hundreds of demons, let alone just a snake." The girl held her head high like a proud white swan. What else could Lin Fan say? That girl's words clearly stated that she was not afraid of anything. Suddenly, Lin Fan suddenly had an idea. "Yeah, you're right. What could a mere snake do to a girl as strong as yourself? But don't waste the materials." Lin Fan picked up the beheaded snake, he then lit a fire, and then cut the snake into pieces and roasted it. "What are you doing?" the girl asked curiously. She couldn't leave because it piqued her curiosity. Lin Fan calmly smiled and said, "I will cook some food." "Do you have any diet pill?" the girl asked. "Diet pill? That's a very precious pill. Do you really think I would have one?" Lin Fan asked. The girl couldn't help but laugh while covering her mouth. "What do you mean diet pill is a precious pill? Every disciple in our sect has diet pill, we use it to replace the daily meal. When I was a kid, my family saved someone an immortal. Before he left, he taught me an immortal technique so I can practice it myself. I've been practicing really hard for the past 10 years, and finally, I could cultivate, so I came here on foot. It took several years to get here. I was hoping that I can practice and become a disciple here. What you said about diet pill is very odd. I have only heard of it, but I have never seen it." Lin Fan was like a pro when he lied to that girl. The girl looked at Lin Fan in shock. "You came here from a faraway place alone, and yet you still live. You are one heck of a guy." Suddenly, the appetizing aroma filled the girl's nostrils. "What's this nice smell?" The girl smelled something delicious and then looked down. It turned out that snake meat was already cooked. The meat looked so tender and tempting. Especially after Lin Fan added some spices on it that he brought from Nine Heavens sect, and used a unique cooking method to amplify the aroma of the snake meat. Smells good. Lin Fan picked up a piece and enjoyed it, then he handed some to the girl. Try this, it's very delicious. You will never regret it. I can't eat it. The girl refused. Cultivator doesn't need to eat normal food. After taking one diet pill, you cannot eat for a few days. That girl said. And suddenly. It's so yummy, so delicious. I didn't expect the snake meat to be this tasty. I'm not lying to you, it's delicious, right? Lin Fan was very pleased to see the girl eating excitedly. The girl nodded. Now, I believe that you are not a bad person. But seriously though, you may be more powerful than what I think. I rarely heard of anyone who can come here on their own. My name is Shishi, a disciple of greatest martial sect, and may I know your name? Shishi finally let her guard down. She finally no longer considered Lin Fan a bad guy. Thanks to the food. It was a good present. I'm Lin Fan. I am just an ordinary person who was kind of interested in pursuing the immortal's path. But I'm afraid no one will take me in. Lin Fan slowly put down the snake meat in his hand, then he looked up at the sky, and shed fake tears. Seeing that drop of tears, Shishi was sympathizing with Lin Fan. She thought that Lin Fan was quite good with his hands. It shouldn't be a problem to ask her senior sister to accept Lin Fan. I can recommend you to my senior sister. My senior sister is a core disciple, and if she agreed, you would be accepted as a disciple of greatest martial sect. She said. Lin Fan was very happy, and then he pretended to be very embarrassed. Are you sure? Won't this be too much of a trouble? I know you are willing to help me, you are as beautiful as a goddess, kind and helpful, but I can't trouble you with my personal circumstances. She pondered when she heard what Lin Fan said.